2nd of May, 2186. Just got back from a drop on Chopessa 4 against the bots. I responded to a diver's SOS beacon with the main objective to confiscate assets from the bots, metals or oil or whatever munitions they have stored away for their own undemocratic use. We must gather them for Super Earth and to help us spread managed democracy. Now, by the time I had landed, the last of the Helldivers around in the group, one survivor at the time, had completed the main missions and just had to get the down escape pod uploaded back to Super Earth. I grabbed my gear and helped him out with that. And the last objectives we located in the area, which I believe was only a CF SAM site. From there, we cleared out the last few small bot outposts and got to extraction and got out. Thankfully, their SOS beacon and everything, we had other Helldivers help us toward the end. I was late to this party, missing pretty much all the main objectives and everything, but for Super Earth and for Lady Liberty, I'm going to keep helping my fellow divers out no matter what. Just do my part every chance that I can. There's not much more to tell with this mission, and instead of rehashing the missions all the way through with stuff, I mean, a lot of those earlier journals do that pretty well. So for some newer divers, if you catch this journal, I fall and go to the Wall of Martyrs, or happen to drop it on missions like has happened more than I care for, just know that that is something you can go back and listen to some of those. And also, if you're curious about some of the Chaos Divers insight, what tiny bit can be gleaned from that. Chaos Diver picked up this journal I lost in the field a while back too, so you can go back to those entries. I would actually suggest, if divers want a little more insight and some knowledge from myself, info from some other divers that have found the journal and picked up along the way in discussions that I've had, that's something you can find on here. The options there, whether you go back or not, is up to you for any fellow Helldivers, but thankfully there are some that have listened back to some other details and maybe gleaned a little bit of hope and stuff. I know some did, and then still went to the Wall of Martyrs for themselves. This journal, I'm changing things up with some of these journals, discussing different topics and things, and I had some chats with other fellow Helldivers, not from this mission, but some past ones. Talk about some of the war bonds that Super Earth and the ministries have given us, and some of that damn good gear that we've gotten. Recently, I believe a few days ago from this journal's recording, a new war bond had dropped, the Exo Experts. I actually was lucky enough to pick it up. However, there seems to be an interesting swing in life. And almost a cruelness that the Earth and this galaxy and everything has had, at least on me. And I would very much love to know and talk to other Helldivers about this as well, because I feel like this may not be me alone. There's a swing in balance between being able to have super credits that we find on the field versus medals that we're able to gather. I know that medals are easier with certain missions and being able to, jump down there, finish up those objectives and main missions and clear out things. Requisition is the easiest shit to get your hands on. Don't worry about that. That shit comes all the time. Samples are not too bad. I did learn, commons are exactly that. You're going to find them everywhere. Rares, a little trickier at times, but depending on the missions and objectives that you're doing, Helldivers, you're going to get those. Super rares actually are not too bad once you figure out how to get them a little bit smoother. It just does take time. But I would say to any fellow Helldivers, don't get yourself down on those. In time, you'll get them, and then, like for myself, for example, I have one ship module left, and it's the rare samples that I need at this current journal entry. So, super rares came to a point where I had enough and was able to move forward with that stuff. So, and then requisition never is ever going to be a problem. In fact, you'll probably need to spend it because Super Earth does have a certain cap that we are an allowance, and the rest of it goes back to Super Earth if you go over your cap, which is fine because that's, we need materials and supplies for Super Earth. We can't be greedy on this stuff too much. Medals will come in time. Just, take care of your missions, go with your fellow Helldivers, take care of the objectives and everything. You will get those done, I guarantee it. The cap on them that we're allowed before the taxes from Super Earth and our Super Destroyers and everything take effect. But what I have found is if I'm finding a lot of super credits, great. However, medals seem to be short. If I'm getting a lot more medals with certain times, awesome. But then super credits seem like they're harder to get my hands on. So it's a balance, I suppose. But in regards to these, I did purchase the Exo Experts and thankfully the Entrenched Division War Bonds. Now, I got super lucky with my super credits. I was diving a lot of missions. I was able to find some good amount of caches while on these missions from pods and bunkers and everything and all that. And divers were talking about how we can, quote, spend our life and other currencies to get these super credits. However, I have never done that, and I've had okay luck because, quite honestly, I have 2 war bonds now, and I'm looking forward to spending medals on, but the medals are now going to be my diving oh my god, when you journal and you can't words and you can't speak, it's like fear of public speaking all of a sudden hits in and everything. Medals are going to be the hard grind and resource that I'm going to want to try and get. So it's a balance. It's figuring everything out. But I did figure out an interesting little quirk with not medals so much. That's just going to be just complete your stuff as best you can. Personal orders that we get every day from Super Earth, the major orders and stuff, help toward those, and you'll get there in time. It takes a little bit, but you will get there, and you can find some, not a lot, but they are present on missions for us, dropped by other Helldivers, which I think is how we get our super credits. I think a lot of times those super credits and medals are from past Helldivers that have had sad, unfortunate luck on the field and gone to the Wall of Martyrs. So we need their resources. Let's use them. But medals are going to be difficult, and but I learned from some other Helldivers, they'll go through some trivial or easy missions for Super Earth to gather some resources a little bit smoother for themselves. For me, we are working for Super Earth. It does not matter how you contribute. You contribute. You finish your missions. You take care of the objectives. You kill our enemies, all the bugs, bots, and squids. You save our citizens. You take out illegal broadcasting and stuff. But just do your part. Dive those missions. Help your fellow Helldivers. And in time, stuff will come. Take advantage of it. At least you're not going to the Wall of Martyrs like some other people have. But yeah. So my fellow Helldivers, just keep diving, keep pushing forward. You'll be able to do this.